Episode 1. A young girl touches the flame of Tar Valon and sees Trollocs approaching. She runs into a house and encounters Ishmael, who asks if she sees him as evil. When she says no, he lets her pet a Trolloc. Moiraine struggles with losing the One Power. Since her battle with Ishmael at Faldara, her bond with Lan has weakened. Lan informs her of a visitor. At the White Tower, Egwene trains hard while Nynaeve refuses to use the One Power, believing no one should have too much power. Liandrin watches them closely, advancing her own plans. Perrin speaks with Loial and believes Rand is dead. Worried about his friends, especially Mat, he and Loial set out to retrieve the stolen Horn of Valeri from Padan Fain. Perrin is enraged because Fain once took refuge in Two Rivers, but later led Trollocs there, causing his wife's death. Moiraine buys a poem, but refuses to pay for a Quindiar. She urges Lan to leave, but he refuses. Liandrin forces Nynaeve to wield the One Power, telling her she wants her to become powerful. Lan confronts Moiraine about pushing him away. Meanwhile, Liandrin keeps Mat imprisoned and manipulates him by reading a letter from Perrin while omitting his name. Lan finds Moiraine missing. She is ambushed by a Fade and injured. Lan fights back but is wounded. Suddenly, Varen and Adeleas arrive, to their rescue. Episode 2. Rand tries to settle into his new life in Caer Hien. A girl's comment reveals he regularly spends the night with her. In the Season 1 finale, Rand left Egwene to protect her, fearing he would lose his mind and hurt his loved ones. He asked Moiraine to tell everyone he was dead. Perrin and the Shienarans continue their search for Padan Fain and the Horn of Valere. Along the way, Perrin experiences disturbing visions from the past. They soon discover a dead Fade and investigate. Moiraine tells Lan she plans to return to the White Tower with him, but tensions remain between them, keeping their conversations brief. Liandrin tries to recruit Nynaeve into the Red Ajah, arguing that Aes Sedai could live without Yellow Ajah healers. She later brings food to Mat, who starts carving a hole in the wall after she leaves. Egwene meets a royal and forms a bond. Meanwhile, Rand is attacked by a man he previously argued with, and kills him using the One Power. Fearing madness, he withdraws, but Selene insists on staying and helping him. Moiraine and Lan reflect on their past, sharing an emotional moment. Mat's escape attempt leads him to Min, in the adjacent cell. They connect. But Min has a vision of Mat killing Rand. Nynaeve follows Liandrin and finds her caring for a sick son. When Nynaeve deduces his condition, Liandrin slaps her. Later, Nynaeve overhears Egwene complaining about her absence and retreats, upset. The royal notes Egwene's jealousy, warning it does not suit her. Liandrin takes Nynaeve to the sisters, stating she is ready to face her fears. Moiraine reminds Lan why she chose him as her warder, but then hands him over to Alanna. Though he protests, he ultimately accepts after Moiraine wounds him emotionally. Dark Ones attack Perrin and the Shienarans. Loial is wounded, but Perrin saves him. Soon after, Ishmael and the Dark Ones capture Perrin and the Shienarans. Rand volunteers to help Logain, who is a patient at the medical facility where Rand works. Episode 3. The sisters explain the trial of the Arches to Nynaeve, warning that she must face her greatest fears to succeed. Despite the dangers, she agrees to proceed. She struggles through the first two challenges but overcomes them. However, her feelings for Lan distract her in the third, leading to her apparent death during the trial. Perrin and the Shienarans are brought before Lady Suroth. When a man refuses to bow, she has him executed to instill fear. The rest submit and swear loyalty. Rand spends time with Logain, hoping to learn how to control his power. Logain sees through him, and, after confirming Rand's true intentions, gives him a task. Egwene learns of Nynaeve's death, and is devastated. Meanwhile, Liandrin releases Mat but belittles him, calling him worthless for betraying his friends. She tells him to find Egwene if he wants redemption. Egwene confronts Liandrin about Nynaeve's death. Liandrin admits she trusted Nynaeve and was disappointed. Rand rushes back to Logain for answers. Logain tells him he has no control over his power, and it will eventually consume him. Matt starts toward Egwene, but seeing her grief, changes his mind. Instead, he frees Min, and they escape together. It is revealed that Min and Liandrin are secretly working together. Perrin escapes from a moving carriage with the help of a wolf guiding him. Rand loses control of the One Power and accidentally burns down a house. Nynaeve survives the trial and returns, overwhelmed with sorrow. When she returns, Egwene comforts her. Episode 4. Ishamael aids a terrified, blood-covered woman who may be another Forsaken like himself. Meanwhile, in Carrion, Lady Anvaire wakes to the shocking news that her sister, Moiraine, has returned after decades. After Selena's inn burns down, Rand initially refuses her offer to stay at her parents' cottage in the Foregate, but later agrees. Meanwhile, Nynaeve struggles with her emotions after her experience in the Arches. Lan, now without his bond, is uncertain about his future. He refuses to serve another Aes Sedai, despite Alana's suggestion. Moiraine declines Anvaire's hospitality, and instead visits the Kyrian sanatorium, believing Logain can help Rand master his abilities. In exchange, she offers Logain what he desires most, a dagger to end his life. Liandrin learns of attacks across the western shore and questions why Leen Sharif has not done more to stop them, given that she oversees the White Tower in Amirlan Sietsuan's absence. Elias reveals to Perrin that they are both wolf brothers, sharing a psychic bond with wolves that allows them to interpret dreams and communicate with the animals. Elias has been watching Perrin for months, but avoided approaching him due to his proximity to Aes Sedai. At a tavern, Matt drinks while Min remains sober, waiting for instructions on where to take him. Min then has a disturbing dream about being forced into fortune-telling. Later, she meets Ishamael, who instructs her to take Matt to Caer-Hien. After emerging from the Arches, Nynaeve confides in Liandrin about her distress. In response, Liandrin reveals she has secretly had a son for the past 80 years. She also informs Nynaeve of Perrin's capture. The Aes Sedai are aware of attacks in the west but are not intervening. As Lan struggles with his separation from Moiraine, Alana finds a blood-written poem among his belongings and reacts with concern. When Nynaeve learns that Perrin and Loial have been captured, she tells Egwene, and the two plan to escape the White Tower to rescue them. Before they can leave, Elaine joins them. However, Liandrin intercepts them, apologizes, and then attacks with her power. Moiraine searches for Rand in the Foregate but finds he has left for the mountains with Selene. She spends the day in Caer-Hien looking for him and is met by Anvaire, who insists Moiraine must have tea with her if she wants to find Rand. Rand and Selene's peaceful night in the mountains is disrupted when a Fade attacks. Rand channels and kills it. Initially, Selene appears fearful of Rand's power, but quickly reassures him that she accepts him. The cryptic poem reveals the return of the Forsaken Lanfear, known as the Daughter of the Night. Selene is, in fact, Lanfear. As she reveals her true nature to Rand, Moiraine arrives just in time and slits Selene's throat. Rand initially reacts with anger at Moiraine for killing Selene, but after learning the truth, he leaves with her. In the next scene, Selene's face is revealed. She is still alive. Episode 5. Lady Suroth and Ishamael present Loial to High Lord Turak. Turak is furious at Lady Suroth for conquering a village beyond their reach, and removes her from the court until she is presentable. Ishamael then gifts Turak the Horn of Valere, claiming it will help them rule the world. Meanwhile, Rand and Moiraine escape Lanfear, who quickly heals and follows them. Moiraine tricks Lanfear into thinking they are heading toward Tar Valon, but they change direction to throw her off. Perrin realizes he is not on the same path as his friends. A wolf shows him Uno's unburied body, so he stops to give him a proper burial. Nearby, he finds an Aiel woman in a cage. Despite warnings, he decides to help her. At the White Tower, Varen, a brown Aja, investigates Nynaeve and Egwene's whereabouts. She discovers that someone forced Sheriam to sign them out. Meanwhile, Liandrin, who works for the Dark One, hands Nynaeve, Egwene, and Elaine over to Lady Suroth. Nynaeve and Elaine escape, but Egwene is captured. Moiraine visits her sister and confides in her about Rand. Meanwhile, Lanfear and Ishamael discuss Rand in a dream world. Lanfear insists Rand is too soft to embrace his power. Nynaeve and Elaine wake up in a room where a yellow Aja, Rima, warns them about their danger. Elsewhere, Egwene is taken to High Lord Turak, who plans to train her. Moiraine later tells Rand that Lanfear once loved him. She urges him to let Lanfear into his dreams to uncover Ishamael's plans. When Rand sleeps, he finds himself tied to a wheel before Lanfear, who sits on a throne. Episode 6. The High Lord captures Egwene, and her Suldam, Rhenna, drags her away. Egwene learns she is now a domain, bound to Rhenna, and any harm she causes her Suldam will transfer to her. Meanwhile, Rand stands chained before Lanfear. He confronts her lies, but she manipulates him against Moiraine. She promises to reveal Ishamael's location if he leaves Moiraine. When Rand wakes, he follows Lanfear's words despite Moiraine's warnings. Nynaeve and Elaine meet Yellow Aja Rima, who suspects Liandrin of being Black Aja. Loyal, forced to serve Lady Suroth, learns the Horn of Valere is unguarded, and discovers Nynaeve's location. Lanfear visits Liandrin, seemingly killing her son. Ishamael pressures Min to bring Rand and Mat together, promising to lift her curse. Lan tries to leave Alanna and her warders but is caught and forced to reveal his mission to Siuan Sanche. Lanfear grants Rand a dream visit with Egwene, showing her suffering. Determined to save her, he seeks Loghain's help in controlling his powers. Rand reunites with Mat, who urges him to share everything. Rima gives Nynaeve and Elaine a collar, and asks them to unlock it to free Egwene. Egwene fights Rhenna but only hurts herself. Rima sacrifices herself to protect Nynaeve and Elaine. As the High Lord's forces close in, Egwene, broken by Rhenna's control, lets out a final scream. Episode 7. A flashback reveals that Siuan Sanche and Moiraine were ready to leave the White Tower when Gitara foresaw the rebirth of the dragon and urged them to find him. In the present, Siuan visits Moiraine in Caerhien, demanding to know why she kept Rand's identity a secret. She declares that she will now share Moiraine's burden. Soon after, Siuan summons Rand, deciding to keep him captive at the White Tower while the Aes Sedai train him. Egwene is forced to display her power before the domain. Rhenna warns her of consequences if she fails, leaving Egwene with no choice but to obey. Meanwhile, Nynaeve and Elaine meet Loyal, who reveals Perrin is safe, but warns them of Egwene's dire situation. They promise to rescue her first. Lanfear visits Mat and brings him to Ishamael, who offers him a mysterious tea that reveals his past lives. Mat hesitates but drinks, leading to strange behavior. In the desert, Perrin and Aviendha meet Aiel warriors mourning a friend. Aviendha undergoes a painful ritual, later explaining its cultural significance. Barthanes receives orders from Liandrin to kill Moiraine, but his mother, Unvaere, overhears and reports him. Siuan shields Rand from the One Power, making his mission to rescue Egwene more difficult. Desperate, he turns to Lanfear for help. With Varen's aid, Rand, Lan, and Moiraine escape the White Tower. Moiraine regains her power and opens a waygate, but Siuan arrives to stop them. Lanfear attacks, forcing Moiraine to flee, leaving Siuan behind. Episode 8. 3,000 years ago, Luz Therin seals Ishamael away. Ishamael begs for death, but Luz refuses, determined to stop his rebirth. In the present, Rand, Moiraine, Lan, and Lanfear enter the Waygate. Lanfear forces Moiraine and Lan out, leaving them by the sea. Lan asks Moiraine to rebond with him, and she agrees, calling him her better half. Lanfear brings Rand to Falme, believing he will join the Dark. She bribes Baal Domin to release the Forsaken seals. Meanwhile, the White Cloaks attack the Seanchan. Perrin arrives in Falme and promises his wolf, Hopper, that he will return. Nynaeve and Elaine plan to rescue Egwene, while Perrin and Loyal recover the Horn of Valere. Rand kills High Lord Turak's men, and Mat escapes Padan Fane's trap. Egwene kills Rena with an atom. Perrin's wolf dies, and he avenges him. Mat blows the horn, summoning legendary warriors to fight the Xianshan. Ishamael attacks Rand, and Lady Saroth's domain weaken him. Mat accidentally stabs Rand due to Ishamael's trickery. Egwene, Nynaeve and Elaine arrive. Elaine heals Rand, and Moiraine destroys Saroth's domain. Rand then kills Ishamael, fulfilling the prophecy. Lanfear secretly supports Rand but later meets Moghedien, who reveals Ishamael freed her. She warns Lanfear that her love for Rand led to her downfall. The Forsaken are free, and the real battle is just beginning.